Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark as the Melbourne Aces and Geelong Korea get set to resume Game 2 of this Round 1 of the 2022-2023 ABL season. Last night's game was suspended in the bottom of the 13th inning. The Aces had runners at first and second with cleanup hitter Chris Burke up to bat. The count will be 1-0 on Chris when play resumes in just a couple minutes. As we welcome you inside our broadcast booth at Melbourne Ballpark, Josh Sperber alongside me, Michael Marcantonini up in the booth with you today. Josh, no rain today, so that's a positive already, but the Aces down 2 runs. The winning run's at the plate, though, in the form of Chris Burke. You know, this thing could be over in one pitch. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Burke certainly has the pop to do that, a really strong all-around hitter, but you got to give a lot of credit to both teams. Just phenomenal pitching. I mean, extra innings, the 2 runs, there have been 4 extra innings now, and the 2 runs scored in the top of the 13th for GK. So each pitching staff, bullpen starters have been excellent to start off this season.
There's only been 1 hit in extra innings. That came off the bat of Kim Joo-sung, who delivered a go-ahead 2-run single with 1 out in the top of the 13th. We'll give you a quick game reset and tell you what happened before that. Well, both starting pitchers were fantastic. Jang Jae-young was phenomenal for GK. 5 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts, gave up just 2 hits and walked just 1. He came out of the game after 5. Maybe that was just his time to come out anyway. Maybe GK wanted to go to the bullpen, but we believe that the reason he came out was because of an issue with his right thumb. We saw some blood on his thumb when they showed a shot of the dugout earlier in the broadcast last night. So he exited after 5, and that helped the Aces. On the flip side, Brian Flynn was really good, turned in a quality start, 6 innings of 2-run ball, struck out 7, gave up just 4 hits, and walked just 1. Offensively for GK, the scoring got started in the top of the 3rd. Song Chan-oi hit his 2nd homer in as many games. Song Chan-oi delivered a 2-run single, and then later in the game, he hit his 2nd homer in as many games. He hit a solo homer in the 9th inning to give GK a lead. The Aces were down 2-0 in the 6th. Darryl George hit a 2-run homer to right for the first Aces home run of the season. And then the Aces rallied to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th. Robbie Glendinning, a 1-out single up the middle, pinch hitting for George Khalil. Jared Cruz followed with a single to push Glendinning to third base. So the Aces had runners at the corners with 1 down. Aaron Whitefield hit a line drive sacrifice fly to center, and we went to extras from there. The game remained tied at 3 until that 2-run single from Kim Joo-sung in the top of the 13th. And now in the bottom of the 13th, Chris Burke is the hitter. Count is 1-0 on Chris. The runners at first and second are Jacob Robson and Darryl George. Darryl George at first, Robson at second. So Chris Burke representing the winning run at the plate. Like I said, he can end it with 1 swing. And if GK gets 3 outs before the Aces get to 2 runs, they can end it and put up their 2nd straight W in round 1 of the ABL season. So Ha Jun-soo is back on the mound for the Korean squad. Jun-soo closed out game 1 of the ABL season on Friday night. Aces brought the tying run to the plate against him, but he finished off the job with a scoreless 9th to pick up the save. He entered in the bottom of the 13th last night looking for the save. And Josh, he's back out there today, technically pitching for a 3rd straight day, even though it's only, in the baseball books, 2 straight days.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he got some warm-up tosses in, but going to be taking the closing role once again. Jacob Robson has good speed on second base for Melbourne. Darryl George is on first. Not the fastest runner, but he certainly can turn up the wheels. As we've talked about all game yesterday, he has just come up big for the Aces when needed. But right now, it's Chris Burke at the plate. He's the guy who needs to make an impact.
5-3 GK, bottom 13. Burke represents the winning run at the dish. Robson at second, George at first. Ha Jun-soo is the 7th pitcher of the game for Geelong Korea. Meanwhile, the Aces have used 4 pitchers to get through 13 innings on their side of things. And here is Chris Burke stepping into the left-handed batter's box with a chance to help the cause here with the Aces down 2. First pitch from Ha. Burke grounds one through the hole into right field, a base hit. Station-to-station baseball for the Aces. Robson held at 3rd. George stops at 2nd. And now the winning run is at first base, and the line keeps moving. Here's J.D. Osborne, the left fielder.
Well, I think that's a smart move by the Aces They were pretty aggressive last night. That Jacob Robson play at the end of the 10th comes in mind, but a shallow single, not testing the arm of Kim So-Kwan, and the bases loaded for J.D. Osborne.
Now, if that's the winning run and there's 2 outs, obviously you probably send him there, but like you said, no need to get anyone thrown out at the plate right now, especially with no one out. So Osborne, who had a chance to win it earlier in the game, Osborne flew out to center in the 10th. He did that with Jacob Robson at third base, representing the winning run at the time, but Robson was thrown out at the dish. An 8-2 double play ended the 10th and the scoring threat and the walk-off chance for the Aces. Pitch in the dirt from Ha-Jun Soo. It's down 1-0. Osborne ahead 1-0.
And as you remember, Mike, Ha-Jun Soo, the closer in Game 1, did pitch out of a jam there, but bases loaded, no one out. It does not get much tougher than that for a pitcher.
Working out of the stretch. Taking his time on the mound. Here's the pitch from Ha. Breaking ball over a tight slider on the inside corner. Evens the count up at 1-1 for Osborne. JD hitless in this one. Has walked twice and also reached on an error. Osborne got the start in left field in this game. Played first base in Game 1 of Round 1. Next pitch from Ha. Breaking ball chopped foul down the third base line. And Osborne down in the count with 2 strikes. It's 1-2.
That's, I think, the first sign of any sort of emotion we've seen from J.D. Osborne, just tossing the bat into his hand. He thought he got that pitch, but just a bit over the top of it, bit early on it, chopped it foul.
Reminder to everyone tuned in at home, Game 3 of this series will be played about half hour after this game ends. But right now, bottom of the 13th, this is the completion of the suspended game from last night. Next pitch to Osborne. Tried to check his swing, appeal down to first. He did check, says the first base umpire, Jeff Dunn. Count even at 2-2.
I think the GK faithful in the GK dugout really thought that Osborne went around, but looked pretty clear to me. The wrist did not break, and we have a 2-2 count. Good at bat so far from JD.
Seems like he's seeing the ball really well. A couple walks earlier in the game. Patient approach.
Yeah, a lot more aggressive in Game 1, but something we were talking a lot about last night was how he's calmed himself down. He's sitting back a lot more and really waiting on those pitches.
2-strike pitch, ground ball to third, off the glove of Kim into shallow left. A run comes home for the Aces, and the tying run's at third base now. We'll see what the official ruling is on that, whether they scored a hit or an error. They're going to go with E5, and that's the right call there, as Kim tried to backhand that.
Yeah, a hard hit ball right at the third baseman, though. It popped in and out of the glove of Kim Ju-sung, and that is huge for the Aces because that could have been a potential double play.
Everybody's safe, still no outs. Here's Matt O'Neill, the catcher. O'Neill doing a job for these Aces through the first 2 games of this round, catching every inning for Peter Moylan's club. O'Neill batting in the 6th hole in this one. Winning run on second, that's Burke. George at third. Osborne over at first after reaching on the error. First pitch to O'Neill. Fly ball right center field and deep. Giving chase is Jang. Kim's out there as well. And it lands. It's gone. A walk-off grand slam for Matt O'Neill. A 7-5 win for the Aces. And 3 batters into the resumption of this game, O'Neill's mobbed at home plates by his teammates. Matt O'Neill, a walk-off grand slam to give the Aces their first win of the season. What a way to start out the day, Josh.
I am speechless.
I didn't think that ball was going to get out.
It just kept on carrying. I thought that was just going to be a deep sack fly, but man, what a way to get that first W for Melbourne. That ball just kept on carrying, and that is defending champion baseball.
It looked like he sort of got jammed on the pitch, but looking at the replay, he got all barrel on that. Taking a look at this pitch from Ha-Jun Soo. A nice piece of hitting opposite field for O'Neill. That ball landed about the same spot that Darryl George's two-run homer earlier in this game landed. O'Neill didn't know until he crossed first base and then a little fist pump from him. Slow trot around the bases. What a way to start the day for the Aces. Chris Burke got it going with a base hit to right. J.D. Osborne reached on an error. And Matt O'Neill wasted no time depositing one over the right center field wall. And it's a 7-5 win for the Aces. 4 runs in the bottom of the 13th for Melbourne.
Well, welcome to Melbourne, Matt O'Neill. How about that? First home run in Australia, a trickled over grand slam. What an ending.
Wow. An 8-5 win for the Aces. That was pretty fun to be a part of, Josh.
I think that it's easily the craziest game I've ever been a part of. But, I mean, I'm never going to get over this ending. Just sneaking over the wall. Same in the scorebook, though. Walk-off granny. First win of the year for Melbourne.
Well, and we thought that Darryl George was going to be the guy to hit the walk-off grand slam. He gave a ball a deep ride a couple innings prior, but a nice grab by O, the left fielder, at the wall, saved the day. Ball wouldn't have gotten out anyway, but we thought it was going to either hit the wall or land on the warning track, and the Aces were going to walk it off a couple innings before that. But it's Matt O'Neill who sends the Aces home with a win in Game 2 of Round 1. A walk-off shot, and just a reminder to fans who are tuned in, Game 3 will start at 1:40 p.m. local time. So 32 minutes from now, we'll have first pitch of Game 3. Pretty fun start to the day, Josh.
I don't think there's any better way to start off a morning than a walk-off grand slam. Not easy to do, but hey, it's done. The Aces win. Heck of a first win to the season, and now they look to continue that momentum in Game 2.
Neither team had a hit through the first 3 innings of extras, and then in the top of the 13th, Kim Ju-sung pushed across the go-ahead, 2 go-ahead runs for GK to make it a 5-3 game with a 2-run single. But in the bottom of the 13th, J.D. Osborne plated a run, hit a ground ball to third base. It was mishandled by Kim. The bases remained loaded with no outs for Matt O'Neill, who cranked an opposite field grand slam. And the Aces win Game 2 of this series 8-5. So we will hop off the air and come back to you a few minutes before the start of Game 3, which again will start at 1:40 p.m. local time. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Michael Mark Cantonini. We'll talk to you a little bit on the broadcast.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Mincy really solid in the season opener. 2-strike pitch on the ground to first. Darryl George is there. And once again, he'll take it to the bag himself. Top of the second starts the same way the top of the first did, with a 3 unassisted putout. Keep an eye on that, see if it changes later in the game or if they keep it as an error. Here, this could be a double play. To second, Dale to short, over to first, not in time. 4-6 fielder's choice gets the lead runner. Jong, the base runner at first, he reached on a fielder's choice. Next pitch, a called strike 3, and a slow walk off the mound for Brian Flynn. Easy does it there in the second inning, his second punch out of the game. A look at second, big lead for Osborne, throw behind him, and they got him. Peter Moylan, the current manager, is number 6. Breaking ball, a called strike 3. Nasty pitch there from Jang Jae-young. Back-to-back punch-outs, 4 in the game, 2 more in the inning.
In today's contest early on, and a high percentage of them have gone for strikes. 2-2, wave and a whiff, strike 3. Yu Sung Pin reaches for a slider, can't connect. 2 runners in scoring position for Geelong. The 0-2. Hit on a line, past the diving Darryl George at first base, and that's a run for Geelong Korea. Another run sprinting around third. He will score. That's Kim Ju-sung, who almost collided with Flynn. Song Chan-oi delivers once again a 2-out, 2 RBI single to give Korea the lead. 2 runners in scoring position for Geelong. The 0-2. Hit on a line, past the diving Darryl George at first base, and that's a run for Geelong Korea. Another run sprinting around third. He will score. That's Kim Ju-sung, who almost collided with Flynn. Song Chan-oi delivers once again a 2-out, 2 RBI single to give Korea the lead. Kim Ju-sung off on contact. There really was no chance to get him. Song goes to second base, pitching for a strike. The throw in time. Matt O'Neill guns down Song Chan-oi, and that is a big way to end the inning. Here's the 1-2. Whitefield lets it go. Called strike 3. Now the 0-1. That is hammered, but right to the shortstop. Fielded on a bounce by Park, flipped to second, and that is the inning.
The opening shot coming back from the break. I mean, that's living right there.
And the first pitch of the inning is rocketed out to shallow center in between a whole bunch of players, and Jacob Robson robs Kim Sa-kwon of a blue hit.
A postseason game for the Aces during that championship run. Gets a swing and a miss there. And that is out number 2 of the 5th, strikeout number 5 for Brian Flynn. Had one of those light and easies before the game. I mean, they're doing a good job of fueling the players on the field and us up in the broadcast booth. Ground ball to short. Handled by Khalil on a couple hops over to first. Darryl George handles it at the bag. And it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Brian Flynn. One might say it was a light and easy. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8. For the young right-hander, blew it by George Khalil there for out number 2.
And not much you can do about that slider, I'll tell you.
There's another one right there. Second punch-out of the inning for Brian Flynn, another 1-2-3 frame.
He's been at the ballpark early for BP, just want to get his cuts in.
George drills one out to deep right center field. Jang gives chase, but he'll just turn and watch it fly. A game-tying 2-run home run for Darryl George. The Aces have their first 2 runs of the season. We are all knotted up at 2. Fire me up, Darryl George.
He's been at the ballpark early for BP. Just want to get his cuts in.
George drills one out to deep right center field. Jang gives chase, but he'll just turn and watch it fly. A game-tying 2-run home run for Darryl George. The Aces have their first 2 runs of the season. On the left-handed hitting Chris Burke. Lefty lead delivers. Burke tried to check his swing. He could not. Ball in the dirt. The catcher, Kim, will pick it up, throw down to first to complete the strikeout with the 2-3 putout.
Fan bases across all sports played over here.
O'Neill, a hard chopper up the middle, knocked down by the pitcher Lee. Is able to recover and throw to first to get O'Neill for the second out of the inning. Lee has really slowed down his pace in the inning, but it doesn't matter there. He gets a punch out to end the frame, his second of the inning, and the threat is over for the Aces.
Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Payoff pitch, hit on the ground to short. This time Khalil fields it cleanly. And does he beat him? He does. And now the 0-2. The righty deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off goes Whitefield. Pitch misses for a ball. Whitefield in there easily. Aaron Whitefield brings a roar from the crowd. 20 saves, 383 ERA. Called strike three, a nasty breaking ball is a nice introduction to the Aces for Stephen Kent. Here's the payoff. And that one is hammered into the gap, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Robson reaches it quickly, but on to second is the runner. And the throw in just a bit late. Kim Ju-sung, a two-out double to keep the inning alive for Geelong. 2-2 the score. Kent deals. That is hammered, but right to Daryl George. He scoops it on a couple of hops, sprints towards the bag, gets there in time. Daryl George, playing the hero for Melbourne, wins a race to the bag to finish the inning. And the pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Scooped up by Sung Chan Oi, tags the bag, out number 2. 1-2. Inside, called strike three, and O'Neill does not like it.
In the 6th inning, and that's why we are here right now. So the ball is sent down the left field line and over the left field wall. So just as I was talking about how Daryl George tied the game a few innings ago, we are untied once again. A 3-2 lead for Geelong Korea. Song Chan Oi, Ryan Dale, George Khalil, and Jared Cruz. 3/4 of the Aces infield for the bottom of the 9th. And we'll head there next because Stephen Kent just picked up his 4th strikeout of the game. Let's just forget about extras, Josh. Let's just win it here. Tapper off the plate. Tough play for the third baseman. Throws over to first. Nice play by Kim over to the bag. And Dale retired for the first out.
As soon as he possibly could. We're going to take a look at the replay here. And you're not going to be able to see if Glendinning tagged in time. It looked to me like it was plain and simple.
With the infield in all the way around, the runner at second, Park has a huge lead. 2-2, foul tipped into the glove of O'Neill. Strike three and a big out number 2. Another look at second. Whitefield takes off for third. Pitch misses outside. Whitefield slides in safely at third. No throw. It's his 2nd stolen base of the game, and the winning run is 90 feet away. 1-2 pitch coming to Daryl George. Here it is. Ground ball down the third base line. They've got Whitefield caught in a rundown. Whitefield trying to get back to third base, and he won't be able to do that. Hahn set on the mound. The right-hander delivers. Line drive into center field. Here comes Jang, makes the grab. Robson tags. The throw to the plate is a good one, and they get him at home. Robson is stunned. Everybody on the Aces side and the crowd is stunned as well. A late call from the home plate umpire, Ian Gavin. And it's an 8-2 double play to end the bottom of the 10th. Hahn set on the mound. The right-hander delivers. Line drive into center field. Here comes Jang, makes the grab. Robson tags. The throw to the plate is a good one, and they get him at home. Robson is stunned. Everybody on the Aces side and the crowd is stunned as well. A late call from the home plate umpire, Ian Gavin. And it's an 8-2 double play to end the bottom of the 10th.
2-2. Wave and a whiff, strike three. A fist pump from Jeremy Young, and a strikeout bookends the 11th inning. 3-3 the score in the 11th. Here's the bunt. High towards the third base side, and a catch by Kim Ju-sung. Not a good bunt from Matt O'Neill.
I just know that when you got that much on the screen there on a weather map, it's not good.
First pitch, diving stop by Daryl George. On to second for one, but beating out the throw is Jang Jin Hook.
Yeah, these 3 Aces relievers have had traffic on the bases all night, and they've done a great job navigating through it.
Weekly hit to third. The throw will come home. Force out. On to first. Double play! The Melbourne Aces save a run and end the inning in one fell swoop. We are still tied here at Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom of the 12th, the Aces with another chance to walk it off. 1-2 now to Whitefield. Late on the heater, but still 2 more outs to play with for Melbourne.
Yeah, these 3 Aces relievers have had traffic on the bases all night, and they've done a great job navigating through it.
Weekly hit to third. The throw will come home. Force out onto first. Double play! The Melbourne Aces save a run and end the inning in one fell swoop. We are still tied here at Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom of the 12th, the Aces with another chance to walk it off. 2 outs in the 12th. And that is hit high in the air, deep out to left field, on the track, and a leaping catch. George got just about all of it.
Kim Ju-sung and Oh Jang-han, the top three in the GK order. With Park Jung-hoon on second, here's a good bunt. O'Neill has to go to first. 2-4 on the putout. It's a sacrifice bunt.
Well, this is the time to do so. 1-0. He swings right to the second baseman, bounces into the glove, home plate. Does Robson get there in time? He does. This game will continue. This inning will continue.
Ball and 2 strikes. Young looking for his third punch out of the game. Next pitch, fly ball into left center field. It's down in front of Osborne. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run single for Kim Ju-sung. And Geelong takes a 5-3 lead in the top of the 13th. Ball and 2 strikes. Young looking for his third punch out of the game. Next pitch, fly ball into left center field. It's down in front of Osborne. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run single for Kim Ju-sung. And Geelong takes a 5-3 lead in the top of the 13th. I like being in the broadcast booth. We always got a roof over our heads. Swing and a miss. A punch out for Jeremy Young. It's his third of the game. 2 down now for the 4-hole hitter, Song Chan-oi. Played 36 games for the LG Twins in the KBO this season as a rookie. Hits one on the ground to short. Glendenning to second for the force out. The 6'4 fielder's choice ends the 13th. Mincy really solid in the season opener. 2-strike pitch on the ground to first. Darryl George is there. And once again, he'll take it to the bag himself. Top of the second starts the same way the top of the first did, with a 3 unassisted putout. Keep an eye on that, see if it changes later in the game or if they keep it as an error. Here, this could be a double play. To second, Dale to short, over to first, not in time. 4-6 fielder's choice gets the lead runner. Jong, the base runner at first, he reached on a fielder's choice. Next pitch, a called strike 3. And a slow walk off the mound for Brian Flynn. Easy does it there in the second inning. His second punch out of the game. A look at second. Big lead for Osborne. Throw behind him, and they got him. Peter Moylan, the current manager, is number 6. Breaking ball, a called strike 3. Nasty pitch there from Jang Jae-young. Back-to-back punch outs. 4 in the game, 2 more in the inning.
In today's contest early on, and a high percentage of them have gone for strikes. 2-2, wave and a whiff, strike 3. Yu-sung Pin reaches for a slider, can't connect. 2 runners in scoring position for Geelong. The 0-2. Hit on a line, past the diving Darryl George at first base, and that's a run for Geelong Korea. Another run sprinting around third. He will score. That's Kim Ju-sung, who almost collided with Flynn. Song Chan-oi delivers once again, a 2-out, 2 RBI single to give Korea the lead. 2 runners in scoring position for Geelong. The 0-2. Hit on a line, past the diving Darryl George at first base, and that's a run for Geelong Korea. Another run sprinting around third. He will score. That's Kim Ju-sung, who almost collided with Flynn. Song Chan-oi delivers once again, a 2-out, 2 RBI single to give Korea the lead. Kim Ju-sung off on contact. There really was no chance to get him. Song goes to second base, pitching for a strike. The throw in time. Matt O'Neill guns down Song Chan-oi, and that is a big way to end the inning. Here's the 1-2. Whitefield lets it go. Called strike 3. Now the 0-1. That is hammered, but right to the shortstop. Feared on a bounce by Park, flipped to second, and that is the inning.
The opening shot coming back from the break. I mean, that's living right there.
And the first pitch of the inning is rocketed out to shallow center in between a whole bunch of players, and Jacob Robson robs Kim Sa-kwon of a blue hit.
A postseason game for the Aces during that championship run. gets a swing and a miss there. And that is out number 2 of the 5th, strikeout number 5 for Brian Flynn. Had one of those light and easies before the game. I mean, they're doing a good job of fueling the players on the field and us up in the broadcast booth. Ground ball to short. Handled by Khalil on a couple hops over to first. Darryl George handles it at the bag. And it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Brian Flynn. One might say it was a light and easy. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 for the young right-hander. Blew it by George Khalil there for out number 2.
And not much you can do about that slider, I'll tell you.
There's another one right there. Second punch out of the inning for Brian Flynn. Another 1-2-3 frame.
He's been at the ballpark early for BP. Just want to get his cuts in.
George drills one out to deep right center field. Jang gives chase, but he'll just turn and watch it fly. A game-tying 2-run home run for Darryl George. The Aces have their first 2 runs of the season. We are all knotted up at 2. Fire me up, Darryl George.
He's been at the ballpark early for BP. Just want to get his cuts in.
George drills one out to deep right center field. Jang gives chase, but he'll just turn and watch it fly. A game-tying 2-run home run for Darryl George. The Aces have their first 2 runs of the season. On the left-handed hitting Chris Burke. Lefty lead delivers. Burke tried to check his swing. He could not. Ball in the dirt. The catcher, Kim, will pick it up, throw down to first to complete the strikeout with the 2-3 putout.
Fan bases across all sports played over here.
O'Neill, a hard chopper up the middle, knocked down by the pitcher, Lee. Is able to recover and throw to first to get O'Neill for the second out of the inning. Lee has really slowed down his pace in the inning, but it doesn't matter there. He gets a punch out to end the frame, his second of the inning, and the threat is over for the Aces.
Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Rutsky catches him in a rundown. Throw goes to George, flips to second, and he's gone. Payoff pitch, hit on the ground to short. This time Khalil fields it cleanly. And does he beat him? He does. And now the 0-2. The righty deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off goes Whitefield. Pitch misses for a ball. Whitefield in there easily. Aaron Whitefield brings a roar from the crowd. 20 saves, 383 ERA. Called strike 3. A nasty breaking ball is a nice introduction to the Aces for Stephen Kent. Here's the payoff. And that one is hammered into the gap, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Robson reaches it quickly, but on to second is the runner. And the throw in just a bit late. Kim Ju-sung, a 2-out double to keep the inning alive for Geelong. 2-2 the score. Kent deals. That is hammered, but right to Darryl George. He scoops it on a couple of hops, sprints towards the bag, gets there in time. Darryl George, playing the hero for Melbourne, wins a race to the bag to finish the inning. And the pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Scooped up by Sung Chan Oi, tags the bag, out number 2. 1-2. Inside, called strike 3. And O'Neill does not like it.
Inning for Peter Moylan's club. O'Neill batting in the 6th hole in this one. Winning run on second, that's Burke. George at third. Osborne over at first after reaching on the error. First pitch to O'Neill. Fly ball right center field and deep. Giving chase is Jang. Kim's out there as well. And it lands. It's gone. A walk-off grand slam for Matt O'Neill. A 7-5 win for the Aces. And 3 batters into the resumption of this game, O'Neill's mobbed at home plates by his teammates. Matt O'Neill, a walk-off grand slam to give the Aces their first win of the season. What a way to start out the day, Josh.
I am speechless.
I didn't think that ball was going to get out.
It just kept on carrying. I thought that was just going to be a deep sack fly, but man, what a way to get that first W for Melbourne. That ball just kept on carrying, and that is defending champion baseball.
It looked like he sort of got jammed on the pitch, but looking at the replay, he got all barrel on that. Taking a look at this pitch from Ha Jun-soo. A nice piece of hitting, opposite field for O'Neill. That ball landed about the same spot that Darryl George's two-run homer earlier in this game landed. O'Neill didn't know until he crossed first base, and then a little fist pump from him. Slow trot around the bases. Inning for.
So the continued game is over. A miraculous walk-off grand slam wins it for the Melbourne Aces. Matt O'Neill plays the hero in the first game of the day. We have a full game coming up next on Aces TV. Don't go anywhere.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Well, one game ends, but another one begins. Game 3 of the 2022-2023 ABL season is about 5 minutes from getting underway here at Melbourne Ballpark. Josh Sperber and Aussie Mike in the booth, and Mike, I don't know about you, I'm still buzzing off after that walk-off grand slam.
Yeah, I'm still a little stunned. I mean, not that the Aces won that game. You figured that they had some good momentum going. Once Burke singled the lead off the bottom of the 13th, loaded the bases with no outs. But wow, yeah, didn't expect to see it. And that's what's great about baseball. You just don't expect to see the things that you end up seeing in a game. Matt O'Neill put a great swing on that ball, gave it a ride at the deep right center. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no better way to start off a day. A ball that just kept carrying and carrying in a comeback victory that saw the first 2 home runs of the Aces season. We can talk about Matt O'Neill's walk-off grand slam, but how big was Darryl George in his return to the Melbourne Aces?
He was huge. I think he just brought stability in the middle of the lineup. You could just tell from his first AB, the double into the left field corner, that he was locked in. And, he's been getting some ABs with Team Australia, and just a veteran hitter. He knows how to approach an AB, and I think just seeing him locked in and just consistently putting his bat on the ball throughout the game, that was huge for this team. And to do it in the middle of the lineup with some guys in front of him getting on base, and the guys after him kind of picking up on the good vibes coming from George. What a game. And Darryl George, I don't think anybody in the crowd was surprised to see him do what he did last night.
Yeah, he's been doing that for so long. The reigning Helms Award winner coming up with 2 big hits. The first 2 extra base hits, obviously, though, the biggest coming from Matt O'Neill. And I'm still surprised about it. I mean, not because O'Neill doesn't have the pop, because he does, but just that ball was sitting up in the air for so long.
Yeah, and, we were talking once we went off air before coming back on air for the start of Game 3 here that we're thinking sac fly, maybe a ball would have landed on the warning track, but then all of a sudden you see it land over the wall. Both the center fielder, Jang, and the right fielder, Kim, just kind of stopped running. I'm thinking, all right, somebody's camped under it, but no, they just watched it fly over the wall.
Yeah, and we still might be watching the ball go. Now, no confirmation if it lands, but got to give credit to the beautiful weather that we have for today's game. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the Vibrant Services weather for this first full game of the day, Game 3 of the season.
25 degrees Celsius, a big difference from last night. We got some sun and some blue skies off in the distance. Wind at 24 kilometers per hour. Humidity at 63%. You know, I was feeling the humidity a little earlier. Still a 60% chance of rain throughout the afternoon, but it's dry right now, and that's all we can ask for to try to get this game in.
Yeah, and the weather certainly looks like it's holding up. You see some clouds in the sky, as you mentioned, but it seems like we're going to get another full game, and we do have to give some credit to the grounds crew that made this field playable for today's game. You see the Aces lineup coming out to the field. I think now is a good time for the All-Star Access Hire keys to the game for Game 3 of this season.
Yeah, first and most importantly, Wern hard, play hard. Big shout out to Mick Wern and the rest of the grounds crew for getting this field back in playing shape for today. Mick does so much to get the field ready before each and every game. He slept at the ballpark last night. He slept on one of the couches down in the on the concourse area, and you know, his boy Ace was next to him. But Mick puts in a lot of hard work to get this field ready to play, and yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, you certainly couldn't tell that there was a torrential downpour that there was last night.
Yeah, timely hitting's big. The Aces are just going to have to keep doing it like they did in the bottom of the 13th and just let those good times roll, feed off those walk-off vibes from a few minutes ago.
Now we honor the nations of Korea and Australia with the national anthems before tonight's game. A quick turnaround in between an epic conclusion to Game 2 and Game 3 of the ABL season. Once again, Josh Sperber in the booth with you alongside Mike Mark Antonini, better known as Aussie Mike. So let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game presented by New Era Technology, beginning with Geelong Korea. A couple of changes to that starting lineup.
Yeah, Geelong Korea going with Yu Sang Pin back at the top. He's in right field. Kim Ju Sung at second base batting second. John Jin Hyuk in center field. He's the three-hole hitter. Song Chan Oi's had a great series so far. The DH batting fourth. Park Ju Hung in left field bats fifth. The six-hole hitters Kim Saw Kwan at first base. Park John Hyun at third base batting seventh. In the eight-hole, it's Kim Kyu Sang at shortstop. And Park Sang-on is the catcher batting ninth.
And now the starting lineup for the Melbourne Aces, as Dan McGrath is taking the hill for Melbourne. Aaron Whitefield once again leading off. Playing DH, Chris Burke in left field, batting second. Robbie Glendinning in the starting lineup for the first time in his Melbourne Aces career, and he is playing short. Daryl George, the cleanup man, batting first. Jacob Robson in right field, batting fifth. J.D. Osborne gets his first game behind the plate, batting sixth. Aiden Willis in center field, batting seventh. Ryan Dales at third, batting eighth. Jared Cruz rounds out the order as the second baseman. And Dan McGrath, another longtime member of the Melbourne Aces, will begin his 2022-2023 campaign. First pitch is grounded to second base. Easy play for Cruz, and one out in the top half of the first inning. One pitch, one out in the first, and that'll bring up Kim Ju-sung from Geelong, Korea. So Kim Ju-sung got a single in the first inning last night, and the 2 RBIs that sent this game into the bottom of the 13th. But, of course, that nullified by the O'Neill grand slam as McGrath's breaking ball gets in there for a called first strike. So 0-1 count. Apologize if we had some technical difficulties on this department, but Josh Sperber and Mike Marcantonini are in the broadcast booth here on Aces TV. It's a quick 0-2 count to the second baseman for Geelong Korea. Now McGrath deals outside, count 1-2 as we set the defense for the Melbourne Aces. Daryl George at first, Jared Cruz at second, Robbie Glendinning at short, Ryan Dale at third base. And J.D. Osborne receives the 1-2, wave and a miss, strike three. Kim Ju-sung chased an outside breaking ball, and Dan McGrath has his first strikeout of 2022.
Great start to Dan McGrath's day. I mean, that's exactly what the Aces wanted today. Hey, walk-off win in Game 1, come right back. Game 2 of the series, I should say. Come right back in Game 3. First 2 outs of the game and a chance for a 1-2-3 inning for Dan. 2
quick outs for McGrath. As now the number 3 hitter for Geelong takes a called first strike, Jung Jin Hyuk. An interesting choice in the 3-hole. Usually see those speed guys a bit higher in that lineup.
And I got to imagine Lee Byung, Lee, the manager of the squad, is just looking to change things up a little bit and see what he can do with this lineup. Early in the season, you want to see where guys have the most success, try them in different spots.
And Hyuk fouls it away. Count remains at 0-2. McGrath, another left-handed pitcher, second one the Aces have thrown out to start a game. A very lefty-heavy pitching staff in Melbourne. 8th season with the Aces for the Melbourne native. It's an 0-2 count to Jung Jin Hyuk. The 1-2 misses low, count 1-2. This is the 46th time Dan McGrath has entered a game as a pitcher for Melbourne. 3rd all-time in Aces history in that category. 1-2. Slider called, strike 3. Dan McGrath sets down Geelong in order, and the Aces keep rolling. A walk-off grand slam to end off the Game 2 earlier today. We'll see how Game 3 continues. Stick with us here on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Welcome in to the bottom of the first inning, Game 3 of the ABL season. Josh Sperber, Mike Marcantonini in the booth, and on the mound, a third-round pick of the Hanwha Eagles, Jung Ji Hwang, will get the start. Another right-handed pitcher, and we have seen excellence from Geelong starters this series.
Yeah, I mean, dominance through the first two games of this series. I mean, last night, what the Aces had to go through, I mean, it was straight dominance from Jang Jae-young. 5 innings of shutout baseball, 8 strikeouts, and he was rolling. Unfortunately, had to come out of the game early. And then the previous night with Kim Jae-young on the mound, 6 innings of shutout baseball. He struck out 6. So see if the Aces can break that trend of solid starts for the GK squad.
2 right-handed starters for Geelong Korea, a combined 11 innings of work and 14 strikeouts. Aaron Whitefield swinging at the first pitch and sending a high one deep into right field, but an easy play for Yu Sung Pin. First out on the first pitch of the bottom of the first.
And that's exactly what Jung wanted there, and a quick out, especially after the Aces and Dan McGrath mowed him down 1-2-3. Take a look at the replay. A good swing, sending it to the right center gap with authority from Whitefield, but just couldn't get enough on it.
Now the same guy who technically led off the day, Chris Burke, who was the last batter in the 13-inning thriller last night, the number 2 hitter. Burke tries to lay down a bunt, pulls back, but it's a called strike anyway. Cutter inside, and it's an 0-1 count to the Aces left fielder.
Well, that single from Burke was huge in the bottom of the 13th, not only because it loaded the bases with no outs and was a part of that rally, but just because, first pitch, you go into the bottom of the inning down 2 runs, a suspended game. You don't know what the vibes are going to be like. You don't know how the inning's going to play out. And I think Chris really eased the tension, in the ballpark and getting things going. And once he got to first base with that single, you're like, all right, the Aces are going to win this game.
Yeah, the first pitch of the day into right field for a single. And that one is hammered down the right field line. That's going to drop. Chris Burke heading towards second base, turning on the Jets. Song Ping's throw will be offline and not in time as Chris Burke slides in head first with a 1-out double in the bottom of the first inning.
He's seeing it well, swinging a good bat, hard hit single just about, 25, 30 minutes ago, and now a double down the line, like what I'm seeing out of Chris Burke.
So Burke technically 2 for 2 today,
yeah,
but it's one in the last game, and now 1 for 1 to start off Game 3 of the ABL season.
He technically singled in the bottom of the 13th last night.
True.
Even though it happened today.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and get the days straight, but something that I can tell you is that Robbie Glendinning is making his first start as a member of the Melbourne Aces. First pitch, catches the outside corner on a breaker, 0-1 the count, and Glendinning, another guy who made an instant impact in his Melbourne career.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason that game went as long as it did last night. Got the rally started in the bottom of the 9th, eventually scored the tying run, and ended up playing 4 extra innings in spanning 2 days.
So an 0-1 count to Glendinning, and the pitch, another breaking ball. That one caught the outside corner as well, count 0-2.
Yeah, Robbie's a great get for this Melbourne team. I mean, that's a huge pool, not only to bring him to Melbourne, but to take him away from, a Perth squad that's had a lot of success in the ABL over the last decade.
And Perth will be the team coming to Melbourne next week. Visit the Aces website if you want to get tickets for round 2. 0-2 misses upstairs, count 1-2. And, I mean, how about that? Couple of years away from the ABL, unfortunately due to COVID, but the 2-time defending champions bring in 2 of the best hitters in the ABL that weren't playing for the Aces.
It's huge. I mean, and you're going to see them consistently at the top of the lineup this season, Whitefield and Glendinning.
That one's hit on the ground to short. Burke will advance easily to third base, and Glendinning, a productive out, but 2 away in the bottom of the first inning.
Aussie God.
So Chris Burke, a double with 1 out after a single that ignited a game-winning rally in the 13th. And now a big reason that the Aces won that game, Darryl George walking up to the plate as we take a look at that ground out.
Yeah, and Darryl, what a night he had last night. I really got the good vibes rolling. First extra base hit and first home run of the season for the Aces, the double in the first, the game-tying homer in the 6th. He just has such a good approach at the plate, and he's not afraid to hit in any count.
Not afraid to swing. That one bounced out of the glove of Park Sang-un. 0-1 to Daryl George, and with 2 outs, will set the defense for Geelong Korea. Kim So-kwon at first, Kim Ju-sung at second, Kim Kyu-sung at short, Park Jung-hyun at third base, Park Sang-un, the batter mate of Jung Ji-hwang. Here's the 0-1. Fastball dots the eye on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. The outfield left to right, Park Ju-hong, Jung Jin-hyuk, and Yu-sung Pin in right field for Geelong Korea. 0-2, 2 outs, and a runner on third base for the Aces. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that ends the first inning. So a good rebound from Jung Ji-hwang after he let up a 1-out double, stranding Chris Burke on third base with an extra base hit in the first inning for the second consecutive game. Scoreless after 1 here on Aces TV.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Oh, we've been there for every game, the 4 and 20 pie. When Brownie takes one for the team, he's one big hungry guy. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
Chantel and the amazing team at Christine Property Solutions.
So for the second straight game, Melbourne gets an extra base hit in the first inning, but they still have yet to score a run in the first third of the ball game. The starting pitching, though, off to a good start. Dan McGrath seems to be controlling the hill.
Really smooth first inning for him. Didn't have to work too hard to get those 3 outs. Couple strikeouts, one swinging, one looking. Exactly what McGrath was looking for today.
Yeah, really not much better a start you can ask for. 1 pitch, 1 out to lead off the game from Yu-sung Pin, then 2 straight punchies to keep a strong first inning under 10, just actually at 10 pitches for Dan McGrath. But now maybe the most dangerous man on the field in Song Chan-oi. That's why. Hard hit ball, but right at the left fielder, and Chris Burke makes the one-handed grab for the first out.
Hey, 1 pitch out, getting that guy out, take that any day. Kept him off balance, and obviously Song gave the ball a little bit of a ride there, but was a little bit out in front. Got that one off the end of the bat. Nice pitch by McGrath.
And McGrath, just talking to him before the game today, he just seemed really loose, easy going, just, nothing big at this point. He's done this for quite a while here in Melbourne.
Yeah, he's been around. He knows how it works. He knows what he needs to do to prepare.
It's a 1-0 count to Park Ju-hong, the left fielder for Geelong Korea. He started as the DH in Game 1 as he takes ball 2. Didn't play in yesterday and earlier today's Classic, but a double in the 8th for Park. Reached on an error, finished 1 for 4 with a strikeout in the first game of the season. This one's grounded right to George. He'll tag the bag. Out number 2.
George doing it all by himself.
And George has looked really smooth defending first base. A couple of routine grounders to him, but he's fielding the position quite well.
Looking like a Gold Glover over there, making the routine play look really simple. The guy you could put at a few different positions around the diamond, but maybe he's a mainstay at first base the rest of the year, and got to figure that trust him in any situation over there.
So 2 gone for Geelong. Kim So-kwon coming up to the plate. A nasty slider from Dan McGrath. That's something these left-handed hitters from Geelong have had trouble with.
Yeah, and luckily for the Aces, they've got enough lefties. A couple in the rotation, a couple in the pen.
Oh, that one he got a hold of. In and out slider from McGrath. Turned into an opposite field base hit for Kim So-kwon. His first hit of the day. Geelong's first hit of the day for 2 outs.
But this Aces team matches up really well with Geelong because of how many left-handed pitchers they have, being able to neutralize some of the left-handed hitters in this GK lineup.
And that, I think, that might be the first lefty-on-lefty slider, I should say, that Geelong has hit all series.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Flynn yesterday, it was like, I know we mentioned on the broadcast last night, it was like MLB The Show. You know, lefty comes up, slider low and away, swing and a miss, weakly hit ground ball.
He pitched like I'm going to be doing after the game. High fly ball out to center field from Park Jung-hyun. Easy play for Willis as he eases back and makes the one-handed grab. So a 2-out hit for Geelong, but one left. No runs scored, no errors either. One hit apiece. Bottom half of the second inning coming up. We're in a scoreless ball game on Aces TV.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Aces put an extra base hit up in the first inning. No runs scored yet, and they've got 5, 6, and 7 coming up in the bottom of the second inning. Jacob Robson, J.D. Osborne, and Aiden Willis beginning the second frame for the Melbourne Aces.
Yeah, Robson had a lot of good swings in last night's game, Josh. Excited to see what he does today against the right-hander Jung. Was on base a handful of times yesterday. And again, we've talked about it over the first 2 games of this series. Doing a great job of tracking pitches and, you know, knows the strike zone so well, taking pitches that are close but knows that they're balls.
First pitch of the inning, a rare first pitch take from Jacob Robson, 1-0.
He's been really aggressive, and then I think that's what's going to lead to some success for him sooner rather than later.
He's had a hit in each game, close to scoring the winning run last night. As he wraps the 1-0 pitch to first base, slow roller, easy play for Kim So Kwan, one away. And I was going to say that the first pitches that he doesn't swing at are missing the zone, but if it's in the zone, Robson's going to try and turn on it. Yeah,
I like it. You know, there are a lot of guys who they don't want to let the count get too deep because they, you know, if they're going to see the better pitches in the AB early in the count, why not swing and take your best hacks there?
And J.D. Osborne, a guy who has a slightly different approach, became really more and more patient as these first 2 games has gone on. First pitch to him misses upstairs, count 1-0. And Osborne played a big role in the continuation of game 2. He did reach on an error, but a hard enough hit ball really to force that error from Kim Joo-sung.
Yeah, just make the defense make plays, and the GK squad, which had been so smooth in the field through the first 1.5 games of this round. They made a few mistakes last night, and then, of course, the error today helped lead to the walk-off win.
4 errors in the first 2 games for GK, 3 of them coming in the walk-off win that ended earlier this afternoon as Osborne fouls that away.
Yeah, and really those were the 2 observations I had after just game 1. I mean, the pitching staff, filthy, you know, going from starter, 3 different relievers, threw up scoreless frames. And then defensively, only that 1 error in game 1, and it didn't impact the game at all. They were pretty much flawless defensively other than that.
1-2 pitch, hit on the ground to second. Kim Joo-sung over to first, 2 outs.
Yeah, this game already has that Sunday afternoon feel to it. Now, obviously, they finished a game before this, and there were some fireworks with the walk-off win and a lot of action before that. But, yeah, this has that Sunday feel to it. A lot of early in the count swinging, ground balls, lazy fly balls, quick moving game.
I love a good Sunday day game.
Yeah.
Two-way for Aiden Willis, who swings at the first pitch, sends one into right field. Going back to the warning track is Yu-Sung Pin off the wall. Willis turns on the Jets, but he'll stop at second with a two-out double. A high arcing fly ball to give Aiden Willis his first hit in his first at-bat.
The ball just kept carrying, and looking at those flags out around the outfield, they're blowing to from the left field foul pole all the way across to right, and that ball was definitely wind-aided a little bit. And just similar to the ball O'Neill hit, finishing off game 2, we didn't think it was gone. We didn't think that ball was going off the wall, but here we are, Aiden Willis standing on second base.
And sometimes that's how baseball works, you know. I wouldn't exactly call that a lucky break. That was certainly a well-hit ball by Willis, but the good weather can help sometimes. And a speedy runner in scoring position, if Ryan Dale hits grass, that could give the Aces the first run of the game. And the pitch. Fastball outside corner, count 0-1.
Really like that approach from Willis, though, able to drive one with authority to the opposite field. I talked to him before yesterday's game, and I asked him about the arm slot of the guy who went in game 1 of this series. And, he talked about just picking it up really late. That was Kim Jae-young, who started game 1.
And Dale holds a swing up, appeal to first base. Stuart Howe says he did go around 0-2.
Sidearm delivery, and Aiden said that, guys were just picking it up late. It was coming out of the hand, and then they able to pick it up. But, I'm sure Aiden and the rest of the crew are happy to see a guy thrown over the top once again today.
Yeah, this is one of the few conventional arm slots that we've seen from Geelong Korea in Jungji Hwang. 0-2 count to Dale, and the righty deals. Way outside, count 1-2. Ryan Dale has been in the lineup just about every game of the season, including the exhibition. Guy who played sparingly in those 2 championship seasons, but getting some time and making the most of it. A couple hits in the early goings of this season for him. Holding up his windup is Jungji Hwang. No one's really holding Willis on second base, though. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout ends the inning once again. For the second straight inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 left. 2 doubles for the Aces thus far. We're through 2 innings at Melbourne Ballpark. A scoreless ball game, and Aussie Mike will take the mic next. A lot of great spots at Melbourne Ballpark to hang out and watch a game. A new place where you can watch the game this season and grab some drinks. The Cyclone Tool Shed and Bar down the left field line. Great spot to hang out. And with the sun out today, some nice weather, nice day to kind of chill out there, grab a few cold ones. The Cyclone Tool Shed down the left field line. Head over to that bar if you want to enjoy the game from a different vantage point. Top of the third inning from Melbourne Ballpark. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Aussie Bike. 8-9-1 in the GK order. Kim Kyu-sung, Park Sang-on, and Yu-Sang Pin against left-hander Dan McGrath. 2 quick innings for Dan. A 1-2-3 first with a couple strikeouts. Worked around a 2-out single in the second. 17 pitches, 13 of them for strikes. Make it 18 pitches, 14 for strikes.
on the afternoon for McGrath. He's worked quickly, he's been efficient, and he hasn't really had to sweat a lot. Slider over for a strike. How about that slider swept across the entire strike zone right there, Josh?
Yeah, really, the lefty sliders, as we've said, Mike, just have been on point for the Aces starters. Flynn was working it yesterday, and McGrath picking up right where the big man left off.
0-2, swing and a miss. 3 punch-outs for Dan McGrath. He's locked in sync with his catcher, J.D. Osborne, and the battery mates are rolling early on today.
And Osborne, his first game catching, you wouldn't be able to tell. He's setting up his spots, and McGrath is hitting him. And look at that inside-out slider once again, absolutely twisting Kim Kyu-sung inside out.
Here's Park Sang on the catcher, takes a slider on the outer half, and McGrath is just getting on the mound and going. 4 pitches, 4 strikes this inning.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good. Next one, down and away, appeal down to first. No swing. Umpiring crew in today's game, Jeff Dunn has the plate, Stuart Howe over at first base, Ian Gavin is the third base umpire. Another broken bat. We've seen a few of those on the GK side. Wonder if they got a pile for firewood over in that dugout. It was pretty cold last night. We could have used one.
Yeah, if they don't, they do now. I mean, that's got to be what, the 5th or 6th broken bat we've seen?
Yeah, we've seen a few bats just snap in half with the barrels flying out to the infield. That one, take a look at the replay. Got it off the very end, and part of the barrel just chipped off.
Yeah, literally just a chunk taken out of that bat. I think that's definitely the weirdest break we've seen in this opening series.
Next one from McGrath is down and away, so he falls behind on Park. Well, Park Sang on back behind the dish. He caught the opener on Friday night. Drove in a run with a sac fly, was 0 for 3 in the game. 2-2. In on the hands, popped out to second. Couple steps back for Jared Cruz, has the sunglasses on out there. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the third.
Back to the top of the order for
Just a routine play, and once again, McGrath just keeping it simple and just keeping it moving, going right through Geelong's lineup.
Yeah, just one hard hit ball one time through the order for McGrath. It was that fly out to center that ended the second inning. Everything else pretty weakly hit. A couple ground outs, a pop out. Lazy fly ball mixed in there with 3 strikeouts. Yu Sang Pin quickly down 0-1. McGrath got him to swing and miss. Dan looking for his second 1-2-3 inning, and it looks like he'll have it here. George, a foot race to the bag, takes it himself. A 1-2-3 top of the third for McGrath. Another 0 for the Southpaw. We go to the bottom of the third after this. No score between Geelong Korea and the Melbourne Aces. You're watching Aces TV.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Reminder to Aces fans that home games this season at Melbourne Ballpark receive a 20% off voucher for Sporting Globe locations in Werribee and Ballarat. Well, Josh was just taking a look at that Sporting Globe commercial on the broadcast. We're gonna have to head down there for a meal at some point soon.
A meal, a couple games, maybe even a meet and greet with some of the Aces players.
Meet and greet later today. I'm glad you mentioned that, Josh. After the completion of this game today, the Aces players will head over to Sporting Globe in Werribee for a meet and greet with fans. That meet and greet hosted by our friends Richard and Ann Alexander. So if you're not doing anything after the game today, Sunday afternoon, head on over to the Sporting Globe. Meet some Aces players, get some autographs. talk shop with the guys. We got a great group of guys in Melbourne this season, Josh. Really excited to continue to get to know all of them and tell their stories on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, they're just guys that seem like they enjoy being here. They have fun, and they just like interacting with the fans.
Bottom of inning number 3 here at Melbourne Ballpark. Jared Cruz then back to the top. Aaron Whitefield and Chris Burke. I'll have to talk to Matt O'Neill about that walk-off homer, see how he felt after that. Sure, he'll be getting some love at the meet and greet for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to endear yourself to the fans. Pretty good one.
Jared Cruz played a big role in the Game 2 win in this series. A couple of hits last night. His base hit in the bottom of the 9th inning last night pushed Robbie Glendinning from first to third with 1 out, and Glendinning eventually scored the tying run on Whitefield's sacrifice fly. Aces put that 9th inning rally together to tie things up. And that was the reason why we spent an extra hour and a half at the ballpark last night.
And the rain.
And why we had to come back today and finish it. But
and the rain.
Yeah.
Literally, Mick and the grounds crew were just shoveling dirt, like digging the mud out of that mound. And it's hard to tell that there was rain on it. It just looks really good.
Yeah, and like I said last night, Josh, if this hadn't been if this wasn't a turf infield here, play probably would have been stopped 2 innings earlier. Cruz down on strikes to start the 3rd. Big punch out there. 3rd of the game for Jung-Yi Wong.
Back to the top of the order, Melbourne.
And that's something that we've seen a lot of from Geelong Korea's starters. Right there, a breaking ball that just kept diving in on the hands of Jared Cruz, who has been very consistent in terms of contact hitting for Melbourne so far. And this time, Jung gets the better of him.
Back to the top, here's Whitefield. Flew out to right his first time up. Swings at the first pitch once again, fouls one back. Whitefield spent most of the 2022 season in the United States with AA Rocket City in the Los Angeles Angels organization. Did get back up to the big leagues with the Angels for 5 games in May. Whitefield made his MLB debut a couple seasons prior with the Minnesota Twins.
Attention competitors in the Greyhound race, could you please make your way
one of 4 players on this Aces roster with big league experience. Roster that the ages vary quite a bit. A lot of youngsters on this roster, a lot of veterans. It's a good mix, Josh.
It really is, and there's so much talent from Australia and the United States. Really the best of Australia, I'd say, playing for Melbourne. A lot of guys who were in that lineup in those World Baseball Classic tune-ups are playing on this field today.
Whitefield takes low and away, and he's ahead in the count 3-1.
And he's just the guy that you get it. He gets in the box. He just looks like a hitter. He's so controlled in the batter's box, waiting for his pitches. And when he gets contact, when he gets bat on ball, it's good contact.
3-1, ground ball to the left side, handled by Park. Over to Kim at the bag. Nice stretch there. Whitefield retired for out number 2.
And again, that's still good contact. He got a little bit over top of it, but solid bit of the barrel on it. Just happened to roll it right to Park Jung-hyun at third base.
2 gone and no one on. Here's Chris Burke. Doubled to the right field wall in the first inning. Singled to start the day here today in what was officially the bottom of the 13th inning in Game 2 played last night. Got that rally started, eventually led to 5 runs for the Aces and a walk-off win. Burke takes a strike here, it's 0-1. See if Chris can get on and bring up Glendinning. Pair of 2-out doubles over the first 2 innings for Aces hitters today. Burke's was a 1-out double in the first. Willis's double was with 2 outs in the second. The Aces did not have an extra base hit in Game 1. A few in Game 2, including a couple home runs. The Darryl George 2-run shot, the Matt O'Neill walk-off grand slam. A couple doubles already today. On the theme of Zeros on the scoreboard early continues, Josh. Both the first and second game of round one here, we've seen the Aces and GK starters go back and forth, throwing up goose eggs.
Yeah, the 6th inning yesterday was the earliest the Aces have scored. The first 2 innings, neither team has put a run across, and just it's clearly taken a lot to feel out the starters on both of these sides. Starting pitching really has been just as good as I've ever seen it to start off a season.
2-strike pitch to Burke, fouls it back, so he stays alive. Chris, a couple seasons in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, didn't play in many games this year.
And I think a part of that is because he's switching positions, primarily a catcher in his younger days, moving him into the outfield like we're seeing him play here in Melbourne.
16 games for Low A Clearwater in the Phillies system this year. 3 hits in 41 at-bats. Split the 2021 campaign between the Phillies Florida Coast League rookie affiliate and Clearwater. Played in 27 games combined. Next pitch to him, fights it off and stays alive once again. But the bat-to-ball skills are there. We've seen that pretty early on, just only a couple games for Burke here in an Aces uniform this season. But he's a tough guy to strike out.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the ball really well. And he's been picking up well against Geelong pitchers. 2 hits in 2 different games in his 2 at-bats today.
Hard hit ground ball to second, handled by Kim over to Kim. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. First 1-2-3 frame of the day for Jung. And we are still scoreless through 3 full. Top 4 after this. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Once again this season, looks like a lot of Aces fans are having a great time over by the All-Star Bar down the right field line. Great place to catch a game. And again, with the sun out today, warm weather conditions, no rain, at least for now. It's a nice spot to catch a game. The All-Star Bar down the right field line at Melbourne Ballpark. Dan McGrath back to work to start the 4th. We're scoreless through 3. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Aussie Mike. 2, 3, 4 in the GK order. Kim Ju-sung, Jung Jin-hyuk, and Song Chan-oi for the lefty McGrath, who's been really good. 27 pitches, 21 of them strikes through 3 innings so far today.
And that slider especially has been really effective against left-handed batters. We'll see one coming up next in Jung Jin-hyuk, but 2 righties against the southpaw starter.
First pitch of the inning is a fastball in the outer half, over for a strike. And strike one's been a theme for McGrath, and it's led to the success he's had so far through 10 batters in this game. This is down with a breaking ball there. It's 1-1.
And that's just been his MO today. Attack, attack, attack. He is not trying to make guys miss. He is just going after these Geelong hitters with strikes.
Misses again there. Count goes in Kim's favor. It's 2-1. McGrath was really good as a member of the Boston Red Sox organization. Spent 7 years in the minors with the Sox. 35 wins, an average of 5 a year. Slowly hit grounder to third. Dale comes up on it over to first. 5-3 putout starts the 4th.
And a deceptively tough play for Ryan Dale there. Kind of a slow chopper that bounced right in front of home plate. Having to make that throw on the run. A long throw, but Ryan Dale makes it look easy.
Well, Dale and Cruz flip-flopping positions today. Dale was at second base last night. That's where Cruz is today, and Dale handling the hot corner. Another left-on-left opportunity for McGrath with Jong, the center fielder, up. Jong struck out looking to end the first. 2 1-2-3 innings for McGrath so far today. Nasty slider there. It's too easy for him right now with that slide piece.
Yeah, I mean, against left-handed pitchers, doesn't seem like they have a shot. That one single from Kim So Kwon was on a slider, but other than that, it's just been ugly swings.
See if he can add another punch out to his total for today, but Jong calls time. He'll step out. Well, with McGrath working so quickly, you figure Jong trying anything he can to slow down the pace. 2-strike pitch. Just got a piece of it in and out of the glove of Osborne.
Yeah, barely, but that was not a great attempt. The ball a bit out of the zone from Jung Jin Hyuk, who saved the game last night. Barely getting Jacob Robson out at home plate, as you see on that replay there. A miraculous 8-2 double play.
Next pitch from McGrath, swing and a miss. Nasty slider diving down and in. 4 punch outs from McGrath. He has out number 2 in the fourth.
And half of those punchies have come against Jung Jin Hyuk. In the first inning, Jung went down looking and then going down swinging. That slider absolutely just destroying Jung Jin Hyuk.
Yeah, Jong batted 5 times in last night's game, did not strike out in any of those plate appearances, but today 0 for 2 with a couple of whiffs. Here's Song Chan Oi, the designated hitter and the hottest hitter in this GK lineup. And when he gets his barrel on the ball, it goes. 400 average for him through 2 games. A lot of extra base pop in that bat. And McGrath staying low and away.
And that's
easy to understand why.
Yeah, you miss inside on a guy with as much pull power as Song has, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Next one to Song is over for a strike, 1-2.
And it seems like Song is really waiting on that pitches. He's just daring McGrath to go inside on him, but McGrath is pitching way too well to bite.
Osborne and McGrath, a good thing going so far. JD sets up low and away. He gets it away, but not low enough and out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Good crowd on hand again today for some Sunday afternoon ball. Slider sent in the air, shallow right center. Who wants it? Robson takes charge, makes the grab on the run. Second straight 1-2-3 inning for Dan McGrath, third of the game. He's through 4 scoreless. The Aces coming to bat in the bottom half after a quick break. Josh Sperber and Michael Marcantonini with you on Aces TV.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradley skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Dan Simmons makes a 3. We give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Bottom of the 4th inning from Melbourne Ballpark. It's the Aces and Geelong Korea scoreless as lefty Dan McGrath and righty Jung Yi Hwang going at it, throwing up zeros on the scoreboard. 2 hits for the Aces, both doubles. Chris Burke, a first inning 2-bagger, and Aiden Willis, a double off the right field wall in the second inning. Aces went down 1-2-3 in the third. And here's the meat of the order. Robbie Glendinning, Darryl George, and Jacob Robson, 3, 4, 5, getting set to hit in the bottom of inning number 4.
Yeah, there really aren't any holes in this Aces order. And the top couple spots, a whole lot of dangerous talent. I mean, Aaron Whitefield, Robbie Glendinning, Darryl George, these are all guys who hit over 300 in the last ABL season.
Glendinning takes a first pitch breaker over for a strike. It's 0-1. You know, I didn't get a full meal before the game today, Josh. Just a lot going on with the quick turnaround from the night game to the day game today. Might grab one of those light and easies after the game today. Light and easy fueling our Aces players and staff this season. Shout out to them.
I might grab one during the game.
Hey, I mean, you know, take your innings on color commentary off, and, you know, I'll go solo. You can grab a bite.
I mean, they'll be heated up probably by the time we finish this conversation. Just so quick and so easy. Wait, maybe that's why they call them light and easy.
It might be.
It's a thinker.
Might be. 2 balls and a strike on Glendinning. Fastball sent in the air, shallow right, off the other bat. It's down for a base hit. Glendinning has his second hit in as many days. Leadoff base runner on for the Aces for the first time today.
The other option, food-wise, would be having Ed Wyatt grab us some stuff from the food trucks. We've been begging him, but he just wants to keep all that for himself. But Robbie Glendinning is eating as well. Couple of big singles. This one puts the leadoff man on for the first time for Melbourne here in the 4th inning.
Really excited about the top half of this lineup, and, you know, excited about the whole lineup and the pieces that Peter Moylan has to work with filling out his lineup card. But you look at the top 4 or 5 in this lineup, and it's you can see that being penciled in on a nightly basis. First pitch to George, fastball up, with Whitefield at the top, Chris Burke in the 2-hole, then 3, 4, 5 with Glendinning, George, and Robson. That has the feel of a mid-season, late-season lineup, top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for me to imagine, now that Aaron Whitefield is here, him not being in the leadoff spot. Darryl George will be 3-4 all year long because if he connects with a ball, it's probably going for extra bases. That's just the way he is. The reigning Helms Award winner at the plate right now. Just so much pop in that bat.
George struck out swinging to end the first inning. First punch out of the season for him. He got his bat on the ball early and often last night. Chopper down the third base line, foul. Glendinning will head back to first.
And we were talking about those light and easies. Aside from the fact that I'm constantly hungry, so I'm just going to keep bringing them up, but that's a pretty good way to describe Darryl George. That's really the way he swings. A lot of power in it, but it doesn't look like a power swing. It's such an effortless motion for him, and it still goes a long way when he makes contact.
Chance to do some damage here with a man on. Jung takes his time. The next pitch, slow tapper foul, and George stays alive.
That's something Melbourne's done really well. We've seen just about everyone in this lineup go deep into at-bats, foul off a bunch of 2-strike pitches to keep themselves alive and give them a chance to do something with the baseball.
Jung Yi Hwang, the starter for Geelong Korea today. 3rd-round pick in the 2022 KBO draft by the Hanwha Eagles. Move over to first. Glendinning back. A lot of KBO talent on this GK squad. A lot of collegiate players as well.
You really see the future of the KBO playing for Geelong Korea, and you see some guys that might be able to go even further than that.
George drills one out to deep left center field. This one has a chance. That ball's gone. Fire me up, Darryl George. A 2-run shot, and the Aces take an early lead. Second home run in as many days. Darryl George gets the barrel on it once again. This time goes over the left center field wall. And it's the Aces 2, GK nothing in the bottom of the 4th.
He just likes hitting home runs for you there, Mike. But 2 homers for him look pretty similar.
It seems to be a trend in the innings that I'm on play-by-play. Darryl George hits.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, it looked like he got a hanging slider there. And you don't want to leave that one in front of the plate for Darryl George.
Yeah, if you're going to miss on Darryl George, miss low, miss away, do not miss over the plate. He will punish you.
Robson skies one in the air, deep left center field. Jung did not get a good read on it, and that one sails over the wall. Back-to-back home runs for the Aces on 2 consecutive pitches. Fire me up, Jacob Robson.
Home runs. This one, Jacob Robson.
Well, the long ball is a theme tonight. Back-to-back jacks for Darryl George and Jacob Robson. And, you know, earlier in the inning, Josh, we were talking about the top 5 in this order being what Peter Moylan might pencil in every night. You know, I think he might stick with this for a little while.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And another one that just kept carrying on from Robson. It off the bat, it didn't look like it was gone, but just the more you watch that one fly, the longer you thought it would go.
Osborne, first pitch swinger, sends one to deep left. A nice grab over his head. Park in deep left to make the grab, and that is the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
Off the bat, that looked pretty darn good. We might have had 3 straight homers. Osborne really taking that for a ride as we look at this Robson home run again. That was a good pitch from Jung Ji Hwang. High outside corner. Robson just barreled up.
Well, Robson stayed aggressive, swung at that first pitch again, and crushed it out to center field. That's a nice poke out there to straightaway center. And Darryl George's was no cheap shot either. Here's Aiden Willis. He went off the right field wall his first time up, swings at a breaking ball. It's 3-0 Aces in the bottom of the 3rd, and that happened pretty quickly. The Aces score first for the first time in round 1.
It's hard to believe this is their first in-game lead of the season.
Willis, a hard hit ground ball to 3rd. Park over to Kim, 5-3 for out number 2 in the inning. Darryl George, 3 extra base hits, including 2 homers, and all within the last 24 hours. Jacob Robson goes deep for the first time this season, his first extra base hit. Aces seeing the ball well, second time through the order against Jung. Swing and a miss from Ryan Dale. We got some home run distances on the on the George and Robson shots. Looks like Darryl George's home run traveled 402 feet, and Jacob Robson's went 381. And Dale's grounder ends the inning. Nice play there. Some good glove work from the left side of the GK infield. But it comes after the Aces put 3 on the scoreboard. A 2-run shot from Darryl George. Jacob Robson followed on the next pitch with a blast to center. Back-to-back jacks for the Aces, and it's a 3-0 game after 4. Josh Sperber will take over on the play-by-play when we come back for the top of the 5th. Keep it locked on the Aces TV network.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a Cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Well, a great inning for the Melbourne Aces. Most runs they've scored in a frame in regular in the first 9 innings. 2 home runs on consecutive pitches, Darryl George and Jacob Robson, giving Dan McGrath a nice cushion. Firing on all cylinders are the Melbourne Aces. Josh Spurbert, Mike Marcantonini here with you on Aces TV as the Aces take their first lead in a game. 5, 6, and 7 coming up for Geelong Korea. Park Ju-hong, Kim So-kwon, and Park Jong-hyun against Dan McGrath. The left-hander is absolutely cooking right now. That slider is looking great, and he's got a couple of lefties coming up this inning. 4 strikeouts as the first pitch of the top of the 5th is skied up right behind the pitcher's mound. And it looks like it's the shortstop, Robbie Glendinning, who makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. That is the 3rd time in now 5 innings that the first pitch of the frame has been an out. This time, a pop-up to the shortstop. Now, Kim So-kwon, who has won the only hit for Geelong Korea, a 2-out single back in the 2nd inning. The only time that Dan McGrath's slider has been touched. And the first pitch, check swing right back to McGrath. Fields it on a bounce, underhand flip, 2 outs.
That's Dan McGrath helping himself out, 2 down.
2 pitches, 2 outs in the top half of the 5th inning. And Dan McGrath absolutely cruising. 43 pitches and a lot of strikes. Less than 10 pitches have missed the strike zone for Dan McGrath thus far. He is working it from the mound. Early going in the season, but the best start we've seen from Melbourne thus far. Park Jung-hyun, who's only seen 1 pitch, took it out to deep center field, but Aiden Willis made the catch back at the end of the 2nd. Another one skying out to center field. We could see a 3-pitch inning. Couple steps in front of the track. Aiden Willis secures it. 3 pitches, 3 outs for Geelong Korea. 3-0 the score for Melbourne. We're halfway home. Stick with us on Aces TV. A new pitcher for Geelong Korea. That means it's the first punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Another right-hander coming on the mound for Geelong. We've only seen 2 lefties come on, despite the fact it's been a pretty even split for the Melbourne Aces in terms of right-handers and left-handed pitchers. Looks like, trying to get the name of the pitcher here as he throws his final warm-up pitch. It's number 18, Oh Yoon Song. The new pitcher for Geelong Korea.
Now batting is the second baseman for your Melbourne Aces, Jared Cruz.
He is going to face 9, 1, and 2 of the Melbourne Aces order. Jared Cruz has been a consistent contact hitter for Melbourne in the early goings of this season. Here's the first pitch of the bottom half of the 5th inning. A fastball dots the outside corner for a called strike. And that ball, and it's cracked into right field. Yu-Sung Pin giving chase, making the one-handed catch on the track for out number 1. Order resets.
Top of the order to your Melbourne Aces, designated hitter, Aaron.
And one out, Aaron Whitefield is the batter. He had an RBI in his first game with the Aces last night. So after driving the only run in against Team Japan. Last night, though, went without a hit, 2 stolen bases, and a sacrifice fly in a solid Aces debut for the former 3-time Helms Award winner. 2 championships as well. And Whitefield now ahead in the count 1-0. 0 for 2 today. Still looking for his first hit as an ace as the fastball catches the outside corner. Count 1-1. Right-hander deals. That one is hit high in the air out to shallow center field. Keeps carrying back towards the track, and a one-handed grab from Jung Jin Hyuk. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning.
To center field. Now batting left fielder for your Melbourne Aces.
The wind's really blowing out here at Melbourne Ballpark. You can see the flags all blowing towards right around where that ball was hit. And Jung Jin Hyuk making the high grab for the second out of the inning. Now the left-handed batter in Chris Burke coming up to the plate with 2 away here in the 5th. First pitch over the heart of the plate, called strike. 5 hits for Melbourne, 1 for Geelong. 3 runs to nothing. It's Melbourne on the front end of the shutout here. As Burke slices this one foul, that's going to land in front of the Cyclone tool shed. Got 2 really nice looking bars out in left and right field. The Cyclone tool shed in left, and in right field, the All-Star bar. Certainly places I'd like to go if I weren't on this mic here. 0-2 count to Burke. Here's the pitch. Out in front of a pitch, popped up into second base. Easy play. 1-2-3 inning for Geelong Korea. Aces go down in order, but they have a 3-0 lead going into the 6th inning here on Aces TV. Stick with us.
It's the Mighty Kiss Cam.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Dan McGrath stays on the mound in the top of the 6th inning here. Josh Sperber, Mike Marcantonini, Aces with a 3-0 lead in the 6th inning. Only time they've had a lead within the first 9. Matt O'Neill's walk-off jack. That grand slam earlier today was the other instance. 2 home runs in the 4th are how the score has been 3-0. 2-run shot by George, second such of the year for him. Jacob Robson getting a solo jack. Both of them will come up next inning for Melbourne. Meanwhile, it's 8-9-1 for Geelong Korea. Kim Kyu-sung, Park Sang-eun, and Yu-Sung Pin for Geelong. Kim Kyu-sung struck out in his first at bat as a starter as he takes a slider outside, count 1-0. Came on as a pinch hitter in each of the previous 2 games, but now getting his first start of the year, 1-0. Slider goes inside and out and fouled away. Count evens at 1-1. McGrath in the top of the 6th inning, still averaging less than 10 pitches per frame. Truly an excellent start for a long-time Aces hurler. A nasty-looking slider. Turned Kim around as he thought that might be close to hitting him, but it settled in on the inside corner to make it 1-2. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Dan McGrath starting off on a good foot here in the top of the 6th inning. His first strikeout since the 4th. Overall, that's his 5th. Second punch out for Kim Kyu-sung today, and that'll bring up Park Sang-un. He lets the slider go, and another one that starts so far out of the strike zone from the viewpoint of the batter. Nasty slider from McGrath again. There's another one, but not enough break as it stays outside. Count 1-1. And the pitch. Another slider. This one grounded to third. Nice play by Dale, who spins and fires to get the second out.
That's Ryan Dale over to Daryl George. 2 down.
Ryan Dale really seems like he's found a home at the hot corner. A couple of nice defensive plays.
That's back to the top of the order.
And now the order resets for Geelong. Yu Sang Pin. He has been penciled in as the leadoff man in each of the first 3 games of this opening series. 0 for 2 today, though. 2 groundouts to second and first. That one is hit up the middle, and that is going to bounce to the second baseman. High throw pulls George off the bag, and Yu Sang Pin will beat it out for what should be the second hit of the game, and it is official. Yu Sang Pin gets the first hit of the inning for Geelong. First time they have reached base safely since the 2nd inning. 2 singles for Geelong Korea. And both have come with 2 outs. That shows how dominant Dan McGrath has been on the mound. Last night's win went to Jeremy Young as a pickoff attempt to first in time. Dan McGrath building his way towards a victory. Wastes no time erasing the first Geelong base runner in 4 innings. We're heading into the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Aces lead 3-0.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Melbourne Aces are cruising right now. 3-0 is the lead. They're looking for a shutout in what would be their 2nd victory of the season, but plenty of time for Geelong Korea to come back. However, it has been all Melbourne so far in this one, Mike.
It's been a really fun game. I mean, great pitching. Dan McGrath is mowing down the GK lineup. You know, plenty of strikeouts. 5 punch-outs for him. Picked off a runner to end the last inning. Excellent move. It wasn't even close. I mean, it really wasn't. He was a good half a foot from the bag there. And, yeah, offensively, Daryl George and Jacob Robson providing some sparks. And can't forget about Robbie Glendinning starting things up in that 4th inning with that leadoff single before the 2 homers.
Glendinning a single in each of his first 2 games as an ace. This is first start for Melbourne. And you saw in that replay, Mike, Yu Sung Pin didn't even make it back to the base. Absolutely fooled by McGrath as the curveball does not dip enough, and it's a 1-0 count to the Aces shortstop and Robbie Glendinning. Another massive acquisition by this Melbourne team. 2 of the best hitters who weren't on Melbourne after that last championship season. Now a called strike to make it a 1-1 count to the Australian international. Him and Aaron Whitefield combined for the only run that Team Australia scored against Japan in a World Baseball Classic tune-up series earlier this week. Aces made up about a quarter of Team Australia, 8 players on that roster. Now it's a 2-1 count to Glendinning. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count evens at 2-2.
Hey kids, if you want to take part in the Diamond Dash, start to make your way down towards the first base gate. Once again, those kids who want to run in the Diamond Dash, head down towards the first base gate.
Oh Yoon Sung, a slow stretch, but he deals. Tipped into the glove, and it's a strikeout for Robbie Glendinning. First time Glendinning has struck out in Melbourne's uniform. First K of the day for Oh Yoon Sung.
Now batting the man who hit the 2-run bomb last up. It's
now Daryl George, who has been just crushing the ball, and I think that's even an understatement with the way he's been hitting, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the barrel of his bat's a magnet for that baseball. He's just locked in, and the timing's there. That's why he's squared up so many baseballs in just 2 games.
Yeah, he's hitting with a cricket bat right now. And there's another reason why. Hard hit ball into left field. A single, 2 hits in the game in each of his first 2 games of this season. Daryl George showing why he won the Helms Award last season.
I mean, this guy just rakes. I mean, some guys just hit at every level they play at. Doesn't matter where you put them, they're going to hit. You can be a 300 hitter with plenty of home runs, a lot of extra base hits. That's what Daryl George does. And you just see him having so much fun out there, chatting with the first baseman Kim over there. He's just having a blast, and why wouldn't you? 4 hits in 2 games.
Speaking of guys having a blast, Jacob Robson followed George's home run up with one of his own, almost to dead center field as he takes a look at an inside fastball. He's got a hit in each of his first 3 games of the season. A solo home run, though, the big one for the former Detroit Tiger. 4 games in the majors with Detroit. 1-0. Lets it go, 2-0. A fastball really not hitting the spot for Oh Yoon Sung. He pitched in last night's game as well. Second pitcher in relief for Geelong. 3 strikeouts in 1 inning of work. That's wrapped foul. Might have grazed the back of his calf as Jacob Robson now ahead of the count, 2-1. Three 0 the score. George on first base. Aces tripling up the hits for Geelong, 6-2 in that category. Robson ropes one into right field and a second straight hit for him. George carries himself around second base, and Robson slides in safely with a double.
Here we go.
Aggressive base running pays off as Daryl George and Jacob Robson get an extra base. A 1-out double for Robson, 2 now in scoring position for Melbourne.
Well, Robson was looking for extra bases out of the box. Never thought about settling for a single, made a really sharp turnaround first. The play was happening in front of him, so he saw it unfolding, and he knew he could get to second. He had to make the right fielder, Yu, make a strong throw. It was actually the center fielder, Jong, and he put the pressure on, and it worked out in his favor.
Yeah, we talked about the aggressive approach for Robson paying off. Today's a reason why. A homer and a double in consecutive at-bats for the Aces right fielder. Now 2 on in scoring position, and the infield pushed in for Osborne, who ropes one into left field. Could it go? See ya! Jacob J.D. Osborne 3-run bomb down the left field line. And it's 6-0 Aces, pouring it on here in Game 3.
Ball flies out of this yard here at Melbourne Ballpark. That one just snuck over the 300 sign right down the left field line, kept it fair. Really strong approach from the middle of this Melbourne lineup today. And J.D. Osborne, we talked about it a couple times earlier in the broadcast. The approach that he has at the plate, the adjustments that he's made over the first couple games. Yeah, it's pretty fun to see what this Melbourne lineup can do when everybody's hitting.
So 3 home runs today. One of them from George yesterday, the O'Neill walk-off grand slam. 3 in this game now. Here's Aiden Willis, who skips one foul. That hits off the roof, rolls down the netting to make the count 0-1. A double in the second for Willis. He's 1-2 on the day. One pitch, misses low, 2-1. One away, and another 3 runs coming up for the Aces, all off the homer. Swing and a miss. Willis makes the count 2-2. Aiden Willis in his second start. As we take a look again at that J.D. Osborne homer, snuck over that left field wall, landing in the Geelong bullpen. 2-2. Misses outside. The count runs full. Aiden Willis working the count full. You see some action, a right-hander warming up for Geelong after Oh Yoon Sung allowed that 3-run homer by J.D. Osborne. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Willis scampering over to first base, but 2-3, pulled the first baseman off the bag. Kim So Kwan steps on it, second K of the inning for 0-2 away for Geelong Korea.
Out of the plate, third baseman for the Aces, Ryan Day.
And that was a pretty close call. The speed of Aiden Willis makes Park Sang unrush a bit on that strikeout, but just enough. Close enough to the first base bag for Kim So Kwan to tap it and get the out. Now Ryan Dale, who's 0 for 2 on the day, comes up with 2 outs in the frame. Quickly wrapped on the ground to short. Fielded by Kim, over to first, and that ends the inning. But not before the Aces get themselves ahead even more. A 6-0 game, all on home runs, the most recent of which, a 3-run bomb by J.D. Osborne. 6-0 Melbourne. Aussie Mike coming back to you in the 7th inning.
Lining up on the line.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Oh, we've been there for every game, the 4 and 20 pie. When Brownie takes one for the team, he's one big hungry guy. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie.
6-0 Aces over Geelong Korea in Game 3 of this 4-game Round 1 to start the ABL season. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Aussie Mike. Dan McGrath back to work. 6 shutout frames for him so far. He's needed just 52 pitches to get through 6 innings, 39 of them strikes. Aces have the long ball going today. 3 home runs in this one after 2 in yesterday's ball game. One of the 2 home runs from yesterday's ball game actually came today. Matt O'Neill, a walk-off grand slam as the Aces took home an 8-5 victory earlier today in the completion of Game 2 from last night. So an 8-5 win to start the day for the Aces, and it's all Melbourne in the middle innings. 6-0, 6 runs on 8 hits for the Aces, and the lefty McGrath is throwing shutout baseball, just 2 hits allowed, both singles for Geelong Korea. The 3 home runs for the Aces, a 2-run shot from Darryl George, a solo shot from Jacob Robson. Those 2 went back-to-back on consecutive pitches in the 4th inning. And then a 3-run shot with George and Robson on base off the bat of J.D. Osborne in the bottom of the 6th. 3 long balls and 6 runs all off the homer for the Aces. Ground ball out to short. Glendining's there. And Kim is retired to start the 7th. Well, McGrath continues to roll. Faced the minimum 3 in the 6th. Got the first 2 batters on a strikeout and a ground out. Yu Sang-pin singled, but McGrath picked him off first base. And now 1 up, 1 down in the 7th. Now, Geelong Korea will turn to its bench.
Geelong Korea is number 23, Soo Ho Cho.
Oh, the afternoon is over for John Jin Hyuk. 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Now the pinch hitter pops one out of play, foul.
Darryl George in foul territory.
And Darryl George makes the grab in foul ground for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Song Chan Oi.
Now batting the designated hitter for Geelong Korea, Song Chan Kui.
First pitch to him misses low as McGrath continues to roll. McGrath allowed a 2-out single to Kim Saw-Kwan in the 2nd inning. He had retired the side in order in the next 3 innings, and then the 2-out base hit in the 6th. But that's it. Just 2 hits for GK. McGrath has kept this Korean lineup off balance all afternoon, looking to make it 7 shutout frames. Aces starters have been excellent through the 3 games this season. So that pitch misses down. 5 innings, no earned runs for Cody Mincy on opening night. 6 innings of 2-run ball for Brian Flynn last night. And McGrath, the best of the 3 so far, 6 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. Chance to make it 7 straight zeros with 2 strikes on the batter's Song. Well, you know somebody's rolling when they're neutralizing a guy who's homered twice and driven in a handful of runs in just 2 games in the series. That's Song. He hasn't done anything at all today. In on the hands, grounder to short, backhanded by Glendinning. Nice throw across his body. Robbie Glendinning flashing the leather and the arm. Another 1-2-3 inning for Dan McGrath. 7 shutout frames, just 2 weak hits allowed. And we are ready to stretch at Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom 7 after this. The Aces 6 and GK nothing on the Aces TV network.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
All aces this afternoon from Melbourne Ballpark. 6-0 lead for Melbourne. 3 in the fourth, 3 more in the sixth. J.D. Osborne, a 3-run homer in that bottom of the sixth to double the Aces lead. But before that, the Aces got the scoring started in the bottom of the fourth. Darryl George, a 2-run shot over the left center field wall. On the next pitch, Jacob Robson went deep to center. 3 long balls for the Aces today. 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. For Geelong Korea, no runs on just 2 hits, both singles, and no errors. 7 shutout innings from Dan McGrath. He's been so good today for Peter Moylan's club. 5 strikeouts. McGrath pitching to contact really well. A steady diet of ground ball outs. And now we've got a punt 1-2-3 pitching change as we open the bottom of the 7th inning. Geelong Korea turns to right-hander Dong-Woon Baek. And Baek will make his appearance of this season. Baek Dong-Woon with first pitch of the afternoon, misses low. Steady diet of right-handed relievers out of that bullpen for GK. We saw 7 pitchers used in Game 2 of this series. And GK used 4 pitchers in Game 1. The Aces haven't needed to go to their bullpen today, and the way McGrath's pitching, they might not at all. McGrath, the pitch count is low through 7 shutout innings. I got to imagine that this is his game the rest of the way unless he runs into some trouble. Pitch over for a called strike on Jared Cruz, the 9-hole hitter.
And McGrath really has not seen any trouble. It's just been smooth sailing for the left-hander. That slider has been absolutely nasty. And 2 hits allowed through 7 innings. Not too shabby.
62 pitches through 7 innings, less than 10 pitches per inning. He's been fantastic. 46 strikes. He's only thrown 16 pitches out of the zone. And it's not like the Geelong Korea squad is chasing a lot of pitches. I mean, he's just peppering that strike zone. Fastball, slider, changeup, whatever it is. 3-2 pitch coming to Jared Cruz. Fly ball center field. A few steps back into the gap for Jong. He's there to make the grab. That's the first out of the 7th. Back to the top of the order. Whitefield, another shot.
Back to the top of the order.
Whitefield still looking for that first hit, but the Aces bats really coming alive today. 8 hits and 6 runs for Melbourne. And you know that Aaron Whitefield would like to put himself on that list.
Like you mentioned, Josh, no hits for Whitefield yet in the 2 games that he's played. Drove in the tying run in the 9th inning last night with a sacrifice fly. Stole 2 bags last night. He is a threat on the base paths whenever he can get on. Count quickly 1-0 on Aaron. Next pitch to him, inside out swing. He flips it foul out of play to the right side. He's down 0-2. Or 1-1, excuse me. Whitefield flew out to right his first time up, bounced to third in the 3rd, and then flew out to center in the 5th. All aces in this one, 3 home runs, accounting for 6 runs. Aces shut out in Game 1 on Friday night. They did not score until the 6th inning last night. Game went into the bottom of the 13th inning last night when play was suspended. Aces were down 5-3. They came back today. 3 batters later and no outs later, they walked it off. 5 runs on the board in the bottom of the 13th to take Game 2, even up the series at a game apiece. And now 6 runs on 8 hits in this one. Whitefield goes down on strikes. First punch out of the game. He's now 0 for 4 to the 2-hole hitter, Chris Burke.
And that a really close call, but looked like at the knees of Whitefield. Didn't seem like he agreed with it, but we knew it was just a matter of time before those Aces bats woke up, and for the most part, they have today.
Baek looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Josh, were you surprised that Lee Byung-kyu, the manager for GK, left his starter Jung out there as long as he did?
I'm not really. I mean, aside from that home run, he really didn't give up a lot. Like, he was pitching pretty well, getting outs when they needed to, but again, the one home run was the main blemish. I mean, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That's not too bad a day.
Burke chases down and in, and he comes up empty. A punch out for Baek Dong-woon, 2 in the inning for him, retires the side in order, and we are through 7 full at Melbourne Ballpark. Top of the 8th after this on the Melbourne Aces TV network. Dan McGrath back out there for the 8th inning. Less than 10 pitches per inning on average today for McGrath. 62 pitches, 46 of them strikes, through 7 shutout innings. He's the first Aces pitcher this season to go 7 or more. He'll look to become the first Aces pitcher to go 8 or more. And by the way he's throwing today, you got to figure he's got a really good shot to finish this one off, especially with a 6-0 lead, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, he is limiting his pitches, doing absolutely everything right. It would be hard-pressed for me to see a scenario where Dan McGrath gets out of this game at all, maybe. 8th inning, 62 pitches. I mean, you can't ask for too much better than that.
Giving Peter Moylan a chance to save his bullpen. Quick turnaround tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. first pitch here at Melbourne Ballpark in Game 4 of this 4-game Round 1 of the ABL season. It's been an eventful Round 1 for sure, Josh. Opening night, of course, was pretty special to be a part of. Both of us, our first international professional baseball broadcast. Our first international baseball broadcast of any kind. And then yesterday, I mean, we saw a lot yesterday. 12 and a half innings of play. We finished the bottom of the 13th today. And now 3 home runs for the Aces in this Game 3. They lead at 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell which is more the story of this game. Those 3 home runs or Dan McGrath just shoving it down the throats of Geelong. And that slider, once again, is absolutely unhittable.
It literally has been unhittable today. I mean, that's the way to describe it. 2-2, check swing, appeal down to third, no swing. And the count runs full.
Yeah, that looked a pretty close call, but just barely did Park Ju-hong hold his swing up.
5 strikeouts from McGrath. He's pitched to contact really well. And he gets another punch. Oh, no. Wow. The third base umpire, Ian Gavin, says check swing, no swing. And instead of the 6th strikeout of the game for McGrath, it's a walk. And GK has the leadoff man on for the first time today.
And that's also the first walk of the game today. None of the 3 pitchers we've seen from Geelong have walked a batter, and we've talked about how good McGrath has been. The walk, just a very minor, if even at all, a blemish on what has otherwise been an outstanding showing.
Walk-free baseball, broadcaster's dream, Josh.
I mean, just this kind of pitching from McGrath is, I mean, anyone's dream.
Yeah.
He's just one of the most dominant pitching outings I have seen in my years of covering pro ball.
McGrath, nasty move over to first. And back standing is Park. You know, I think my two favorite things as a broadcaster are walk-free baseball and the pitch clock. You know, obviously we don't have the pitch clock here in the ABL, but pitch clock back in the States in minor league ball, big fan of that. Swing and a miss, good fastball in the outer half.
I'd say walk-off homers have to be on my list as well.
Yeah, they're fun too.
Yeah, we got that today, though, so everything's covered except for the pitch clock. But, I mean, these guys really seem to have adjusted that you don't see a lot of dilly-dallying in between pitches.
Nasty breaking ball, diving down and away from Kim Saw Kwan. He's down on strikes. 6 punchies in the game for Dan McGrath, 1 out in the 8th.
And it's just not fair. I mean, that ball starts like it's going to be high and tight. But, I mean, just look at the movement on this slider. It begins when it really sees his eye line, when it looks like Kim can get the bat on it. It's at a hittable part of the plate, but then the bottom just drops out, and it leaves the strike zone low and away. Absolutely filthy stuff from McGrath there.
Park Jun-hun, the third baseman, up to bat. He's 0 for 2, a couple flyouts to Aiden Willis in center. It's the only 2 plays Aiden Willis has made all night. The outfielders haven't been too busy today. The infielders, on the other hand, have gotten a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, McGrath is, as you said, Mike, he's pitched to contact really well. He's limited hard contact to almost none. Just a dominant performance.
Fly ball to center, and for the 3rd time in this game, Park sends one out, and it finds Aiden Willis's glove. 2 down here in the 8th. See if McGrath can get Kim to end it.
Yeah, it's not hard to do, find Aiden Willis's glove. He's got such good range because of his speed out in center field. And that's not as easy as it may look. That's about halfway in between right and center field, and Willis just gliding over there to make that play.
Yeah, Willis secures it in center, just like Vibrant Security System handles the security at Melbourne Ballpark. Big shout out to them for keeping us safe and keeping things in order at the ballpark this season. So 2 gone, another left-on-left matchup. Move over to first. Back safely is the runner Park. Well, I forgot to ask you earlier in the day, Josh. I mean, that was a quick turnaround from last night to tonight. I didn't get to bed till after 2 a.m. last night. We were back here at 10 a.m. You get a little bit of sleep last night?
I don't sleep.
You just stayed up?
I just wake up, stay ready. I haven't slept in 6. No, I'm just kidding. Got a little bit of sleep, but just kind of wired on just how fun that game was and anticipating I didn't really anticipate a walk-off grand slam, but just getting excited for, last licks and extra innings. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I actually woke up pretty refreshed, I will say. Slept pretty well for the amount of sleep that I got, about 6 hours.
Yeah, I downed a ton of coffee. That made up for the lack of sleep.
I like to be in that 8 to 9 range. That wasn't going to happen last night, though. Swing and a miss. Another punch-out for Dan McGrath. 7 strikeouts for the left-hander through 8 shutout innings. We'll see if he comes back out for the 9th, but before that, the Aces will have another chance to add to their 6-0 lead. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
Oh, we've been there for every game, the 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradley skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 25. Oi!
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
8 shutout innings from Dan McGrath, 3 home runs from the Aces lineup, and it's a 6-0 Melbourne lead over Geelong Korea as we open play in the bottom of inning number 8. Michael Marcantonini alongside Josh Sperber. It's been a fun one here in the broadcast booth. The Aces and GK completed the suspended game from last night. Earlier today, Matt O'Neill, a walk-off grand slam over the right center field wall to give the Aces an 8-5 victory. 5 runs and they did not record an out in the bottom of the 13th inning. The Aces needed just 3 batters to finish off the walk-off win earlier today. And Josh, it's been all Melbourne today. The 3 home runs, Daryl George a 2-run shot, Jacob Robson the solo shot to go back-to-back, and J.D. Osborne snuck one over the left field wall for a 3-run dinger.
Yeah, it's hard not to get energized when your day starts off with a walk-off grand slam. Obviously, not very common considering rain forced a continuation of this game today, but it's just, as you said, it's been all Aces, and they have really delivered for the fans here on this Sunday afternoon.
Robbie Glendinning sends one in the air down the right field line at a play foul. It's Glendinning, Daryl George, and Jacob Robson 3-4-5. Glendinning singled to start the 4th, and then George and Robson followed with the back-to-back homers. See if Robbie can get in on the homer party and add a Glendinger to the line score. Hard hit ball to short on one hop. Kim has it. Well, he won't do that now, but it's only a matter of time before he gets one of those.
On your John Sterling flow, I see.
That's what we used to call them in Altoona when Robbie was there with the Pirates AA team when I was with the team as well in 2019. It's got a ring to it.
I like it.
Now batting first base.
Was that a Garrett Mansfieldism?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Here's Daryl George, first baseman for the Aces. A couple more hits today. Struck out in the 1st, but a 2-run homer in the 4th and a single in the 6th. He scored 2 of the 6 runs. Swings at the first pitch, sends one to short. Easy play for Kim. He's been busy in the inning. Couple 6-3 groundouts. Here's Jacob Robson.
Now batting right fielder for your Melbourne Aces, Jacob Robson.
And you like to see that from George, a guy who just wants to help out his team in any which way. He hit the ball well, just right at the shortstop, and you saw him frustrated running down the bases. But if that's his last at-bat of the day, another 2-for-4 game for George, not too shabby.
The 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the Aces lineup have combined for 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs, a double, and 5 runs scored. George, a homer and a single, Robson, a homer and a double, and J.D. Osborne, who's on deck, a homer as well. Big cut from Jacob, who's seeing it really well today. And the count's 1-1.
And they call that the heart of the order for a reason, because you put your power guys in 4, 5, and 6. The cleanup man cleans the bases, pretty literal naming. 5 and 6, you want just more power guys to keep that going, and that's exactly what the 4, 5, 6 guys, Daryl George, Jacob Robson, and J.D. Osborne has done. A spectacular game from all 3 of them. Putting it all together here, and we're only in Game 3 of the season. Yeah, you knew that shutout in Game 1 was not going to last long for Melbourne. Gritty extra inning win that ended earlier this morning, and now this game going to be a big momentum boost for the 2-time defending champs.
Well, the momentum shifted quickly. I mean, you know, had it not been raining as hard in the bottom of the 13th inning last night, maybe that game finishes. Maybe the Aces go down quietly in the bottom of the 13th. Maybe GK takes the first 2 games of this series. A lot changed when that game resumed earlier today. Ha Jun-soo, the closer for Geelong Korea, did not get an out in the bottom of the 13th. The Aces put up 5 to win it. And they continued with those hot bats here in game number 3 of the series. And, of course, it helps when your starter goes 8 shutout frames and he's got a chance to come back out for the 9th. And we will see if McGrath comes back out for the 9th. Robson down on strikes, a 1-2-3 frame for Baek Dong-woon. And the inning is over. Top of the 9th after this. Aces 3 outs away from putting one in the win column. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a sporting globe.
Dan McGrath back out for the 9th inning, 77 pitches, 56 for strikes. If he finishes this 9th inning off, they'll call that a Maddox. A complete game, under 100 pitches. McGrath, pinpoint accuracy today.
Hey, it's been really fun to watch. He's just dicing up these GK hitters. I said to you, I was joking in between innings, you said he was going to throw a Maddox. I'm like, what does he have, 40 pitches to work with? I mean, it seems like, see, what was he at? He was at 52 pitches through 6, 62 through 7. He's been fantastic today. And, I mean, all 3 Aces starters in this series have been really good. McGrath, the performance that he's turned in today is special.
And he's going to start off with a pinch hitter coming on for the Geelong team. Jang Jae Young is leading off the 9th against Dan McGrath. 7 strikeouts for him, 1 walk, 2 hits allowed, and on the verge of a complete game. 3 outs away from putting a second consecutive win in the column for Melbourne. Gets off to a good start in the top of the 9th. Called first strike to the pinch hitter, Jang Jae Young. Second pitch, misses barely outside. Count evens at 1-1. Slider misses outside. 2-1 now to Jung. A two-way player. Pitched 6 2/3 innings in the KBO as he takes a called strike 2. And he actually started yesterday's game. 5 scoreless, 8 strikeouts. Cut thumb forced him to end the game early, but now he's at the plate. So the first two-way player that we've seen.
Love seeing those two-way players. I mean, you look at what Shohei Ohtani's doing in the big leagues right now. I think he's really inspiring baseball players across the globe to say, hey, I can do this at a high level. You know, play both ways. Because it's something we haven't, well, I haven't, we didn't see Babe Ruth play, but it's something that baseball hasn't seen really since Ruth did it before Ohtani has done it.
Second walk of the day for McGrath, barely missing low. And the leadoff man on for the first time. Both hits have come with 2 outs. Actually, 2 straight leadoff walks for McGrath. It looks like a clean bullpen for the Aces, though. As this one into second base. Flip to short, on to first, double play.
Double play.
Leadoff man's on just like that. He's sent back to the dugout.
And again, a weakly hit ball in the infield. That's been a theme for McGrath all day. He's let his defense make plays behind him. Easy going for Dan.
Second baseman for Geelong Korea, Kim Joo-sung.
And if McGrath's able to finish off this game and get the final out, he'll be the 9th player, it'll be the 9th time in Aces history that a pitcher goes all 9.
And that one lobbed into center field, bounces just before Aiden Willis, so a 2-out base hit. Geelong getting aggressive in their last chance. And we'll have another pinch hitter as Kim Joo-sung, just the 3rd hit of the game for Geelong Korea.
Yeah, not a lot of balls hard hit on the afternoon. Willis, probably given the situation, smart to just let it drop in front of him and play that. You don't want to, dive for that and see it go all the way to the wall.
And Soho Chal fouls one off down the right field line. Second pinch hitter of the inning. 0-1 count. McGrath still well under 90 pitches as he sends a pickoff attempt back to first base, unsuccessful. As Soho Chal pinch hitting for Jang Jin Hyuk, the speedy center fielder who was 0 for 3 with 2 punch-outs.
McGrath looking to become the 6th Aces pitcher to throw a complete game shutout as well.
This might be it. Barehanded by Dale down the third base line. Pulled off Daryl George from the bag. Actually, we have a defensive substitution as well. I didn't even catch that. Ryan Dale is now playing first base for Melbourne, and it's George Khalil who just made that barehanded play. A difficult throw, but the speed of Soho Chal beating it out for an infield hit.
Yeah, a little dribbler. Nothing he could do about that. Khalil made a great play just to make it close at first.
Now batting for
But
Geelong
tough
Korea,
one there.
The designated hitter, Song Chan Oi.
And Song Chan Oi, the DH, has the ability to change the game with one swing. He has a home run in each of his first 2 games, but he has been held hitless tonight by Dan McGrath. Absolutely spectacular outing from him. An out away from a complete game as the high fastball misses. Count 1-0. And for McGrath, that's pitch number 88. Still 12 under 100. As there's the fastball right down the money. 1-1 the count. And McGrath and the Aces 2 strikes away. Two on and 2 out. Here's the pitch. That one is launched high in the air, deep into left center field. And there goes the shutout. Song Chan Oi. 3 games, 3 home runs, and Melbourne's lead is cut in half. 6-3, and a crooked number in the 9th inning ends a potential complete game shutout.
Well, I went back in the media guide just to look all that up for nothing. But, you know, McGrath was in a position where he earned the right to try to finish this off even after a walk and a couple hits in the inning. That one definitely stings because he had a chance to finish off the complete game shutout, but really the W is what matters, especially this early in the season. And it looks like he's still going to have a chance to finish it off because the Aces have Evan Rutsky loosening up, but he's not really getting hot, as the term we use in the States of when he's really out there warming up ready to come in.
A late home run makes this interesting. Tim Ballard out there to calm down his lefty. Pitch number 90 leaves the yard. Sung Chan Oi, 3 straight games with a homer to start off this season. And now the base is empty with 2 outs for Park Ju-hong and Geelong. McGrath will still try to finish this one. Slider falls in on the outside corner for a called strike. And that's just, you just meet an immovable object, really. Chan Oi has been fantastic. Park sends this one deep into right field. Leaping catch at the wall! And what a way to end it. Chris Burke, a spectacular grab, and that will do it. A complete game for Dan McGrath. You can't let the home run lessen that a bit, but 2 wins completed today for the Melbourne Aces.
Yeah, flipping the momentum in this series, that's big. The Aces came into today trailing 1-0 in the series. They were down 5-3 with 3 outs to play with in the bottom of the 13th inning of Game 2 of this series. And just like that, 2 wins, they lead the series 2-1, and they've got some momentum going forward in this ABL season.
And no errors in this game as well. So just a really clean game overall. You don't like to see the late home run. If you see 3 runs on the board, this is still a quality start from Dan McGrath. Just 1 blemish, and that comes from a guy who has been on fire. Chan Oi, 3 home runs this season, but nothing can stop the Aces today.
It was impressive. It looked like everybody was just so locked in. Some easy swings at the dish. A lot of good swings at the dish. They saw the ball well from the starter, Jung Ki-yi Hwang. It was impressive, and I got to expect it to continue. Quick turnaround tomorrow. I heard a rumor our GM, Justin Huber, is going to be making breakfast for everybody. Is that true?
Probably. I'll have to ask Justin.
I didn't hear that. I made it up. Maybe he will now that I threw it out there.
Let's just speak it into existence. I know Justin's a chef among the best of them. Clearly cooked up a great team here.
Yeah, Justin, if you're listening, 3 eggs over medium. I need a spread of bagels. A nice mixed fruit bowl.
Yeah, any kind of bacon, egg, and cheese for me, that I'm good with. But this is still the last chance for Ed Wyatt to grab us some food from that food truck as well.
Still waiting.
Yeah, we're still waiting on you, Ed, and now we're waiting on Justin, too. But we were waiting on a game like this from Melbourne. Fantastic start and a complete game from the offense as well.
Yeah, really fun day. And another quick game. You know, they made quick work of GK today. A little hiccup there in the top of the 9th inning, but the game was well in hand. And that's the way the Aces wanted to finish today off. After as stressful and as last night was with the rain and figuring out, can we play? You know, you don't want any players getting injured because of the weather conditions. You know, when were they going to make up this game? They decided to finish it earlier today. You know, they took care of business. That's really what it comes down to.
And the Aces left 2 runners on the base paths as well.
Yeah, I mean, triple the extra base hits, tripled the runners left on base. That's pretty impressive. 6 extra base hits, just 2 left on base all afternoon.
Didn't leave a lot of guys on base, and Melbourne closes out their 2nd straight win. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to start off your week bright and early here with Aces Baseball. We've got the final game of this series. Melbourne looks to begin their championship defense with a series victory. For Michael Mark Antonini, our fantastic production crew, and the rest of us here with Melbourne, I'm Josh Berber. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning right here on Aces TV.